This is FYI, conversations with interesting people about fascinating projects happening in Ohio.
And I'm JT Burcham. Welcome to FYI 93.7 The Light, Hope 100.7. Today we are talking marriages with a couple people who have a lot of experience. Let me tell you, Corwin and Kim Anthony. Corwin and Kim have spent 20 years building into the marriages of pro athletes and their spouses. They met at UCLA. He was a football standout, played a little NFL. I'm sure we'll hear some stories. She was an international champion and Hall of Fame gymnast. Corwin is the Chief Ambassador Officer for Athletes in Action right here in the Miami Valley, Executive Director of the Super Bowl Breakfast, and has served as NFL Chaplain and Director of AIA's Pro Ministry. Kim, a keynote speaker for corporate and faith-based events. She also is a podcast host of Resilience to Brilliance, a leadership coach, a consultant with passion to help others with overcoming life's challenges. The story behind her passion is found in her book, Unfavorable Odds. You can visit Kim's website at kimanthony.com. Corwin and Kim, welcome to FYI. Thank you for being here. Sounds like you guys could do this show yourself, really.
Thanks for having us, JT.
Yeah, we're honored. You're honored.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Now, we're talking about Weekend to Remember. I'm guessing now, do you guys present at Weekend to Remember? Yes?
Yes, we are one of two speakers that will be leading all of the sessions over that 3-day, 2.5-day period.
Mm-hmm.
There's about 12 sessions that start Friday night and end on Sunday afternoon. So we're honored to be leading the one coming up in Cincinnati and also the one in Indianapolis the next couple of months.
Okay. Real quick, I'm going to talk through the dates just so folks can get that in their head. There's actually 3 options real close to us.
Yeah.
Cincinnati, February 21st, 23rd. You're leading that one, helping lead that one.
Yes.
Also, Columbus, March 7th through the 9th. And Indianapolis, March 14th through the 16th. And you're helping with that one, I think you said also. Yes?
Yes.
You're dissing Columbus.
No,
Yeah, not on purpose.
No, and it actually happens to fall on our 33rd wedding anniversary.
Wow.
So we're going to take that weekend off.
So we decided to make it another weekend to remember.
There we go. Okay.
That's good.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, for those who have never been to a Weekend to Remember, you mentioned Friday night, Saturday, Sunday. What are folks getting into? Why would you invite someone to come to a Weekend to Remember?
Well, the Weekend to Remember is really a marriage getaway with the goal of oneness. So we believe that no marriage is static, right?
Yeah.
So we're either moving towards oneness or we're drifting into isolation. And at the Weekend to Remember, we help couples to move towards oneness and discover maybe some of those things that are preventing them from doing so.
Yeah, it's a great event. My wife and I, we attended early in our marriage, and about 30 years ago. And we've been to probably about four or five of those since. And it's a great time. It's a great getaway. It's really nice to connect with your spouse, to have conversations you may not normally have. And you find yourself really going deeper and growing deeper in intimacy with each other. And it's just a great way to either tune up your marriage or discover some things that are causing problems and challenges, and learn some helpful tools and resources on how to help overcome those problems and challenges as well. So highly recommend it for anyone who's even serious about marriage to attend. And engaged in married couples.
Yeah. And I'll add one thing. For me personally, I wasn't raised in a home where a healthy marriage was modeled for me. So I when we got married, I had no clue as to what a wife should be to a husband and a husband should be to a wife. Yeah. And family life over the years for us personally has helped us to understand that better and to really move towards oneness.
Yeah.
Now, would you say that Weekend to Remember is designed or more helpful for a strong marriage to make them better, or a marriage coming in with troubles? I mean, is it keyed for one or the other or both?
It's interesting. Normally you would say, you should be focused on one or the other. This is just kind of mind-boggling to me that this conference really supports all of those marriages in the spectrum of spaces where they are.
Mhm.
So there are couples that are coming and they're skipping into the conference hand in hand, and they're looking forward to a romantic getaway and some time together. And then there are couples that are kind of on their last ditch effort, and they have scowls on their faces. The husband or the wife doesn't want to be there, and this is their last chance of seeing if their marriage is worth it. And what's amazing is the conference, the content, the interaction really does minister and support all phases of a relationship in a miraculous way, in my opinion. And so, it's for any and all people.
Yeah, we've literally had couples come up to us saying, we have divorce papers in the car.
Yeah.
And this is our last ditch effort. And after going through the conference, we're going to try to make it. We want to give this a try again, or we're moving back to, they've been separated and we're going to move back together again. And we're going to try to make this thing work.
Yeah.
And then we have other couples who are like, we come every year.
This is our 10th time.
Yes.
We're like, why?
We're like, really?
But they get something out of it every time with the
Yes.
different speakers that bring different perspectives. And so there's a lot of alumni that come back every year and just love it. So.
And they bring their friends. They
Yeah.
come in groups sometimes, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, I heard you say that you have been there a few times yourselves. So how often is a refresher recommended? How often?
Yeah. Well, again, some couples go every year. For us, we would if we weren't speaking, because now we're doing probably 4 or 5 of these a year now. But if we weren't speaking, we would probably go maybe every 2-3 years, I think, to a conference, and that would be our rhythm. But some like going every year.
Yeah. I mean, it's a fun time.
It is.
So you get to spend time with your spouse, spark up conversations that you may never have thought to have before. And you get to know each other better. You get to get away from the kids if you have little ones. And it really is a fun time.
And if you're married, if you want to be a marriage on mission, which is what this conference also teaches, then maybe you want to go every year and bring new couples every year and just host groups. Yeah. So that we would highly recommend that as well.
What a neat idea. Neat idea. Now, we learned from your bio, Kim, that you like helping people through hardships. You have a book on that. So this is not a counseling session weekend. I mean, you don't sit with people. This really is, they kind of go through on their own, but sometimes you help them through some hard times. Yeah.
Right. Well, we have a guidebook that every couple gets. Each person has a book of their own, and we walk them through principles, and we tell stories, our own personal stories of the struggles that we've had. And so we're very candid, very open. And a lot of times people will come up to us and said, I thought we were the only one. I didn't realize that other people are going through the same thing that our marriage is going through right now. So we do help people to overcome those challenges that prevent them from walking and moving towards oneness.
Yeah. And you also don't have to talk to anyone but your spouse. We're not going to be asking you to turn to your neighbor and tell your neighbor. No, none of that happens. It's just you and your spouse enjoying each other. And so,
thank you so much for that. I like that. I appreciate that. Okay, that gives me a chance then.
That gives you a chance. Are you an introvert, JT?
Well, you know what? If we're going to have to sit around and hold hands and share feelings, that always makes me just a little nervous. You know what I mean? So,
nope.
Just talking to my spouse. Okay.
Yes, it's just
like
the two of you together.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I'm going to ask you the loaded question. Not everyone listening is going to get a chance to come. Let's face it. Not everyone is going to be able to be there. What are some of the tips and tricks? What are some of the biggest challenges you hear commonly that maybe you can help the average listener today walk away with today? Maybe a little hope in their marriage. I know this is a tricky question, but is there one challenge you hear a lot of that you would like to share?
Well, I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind, JT, is the fact that during this conference, you learn that your spouse is not your enemy. And a lot of times in the married life, as you're getting to know each other and you're uncovering the realities of marriage and being in the same house in proximity with someone who's so different than you, we usually are quite different from each other. And you start to believe that this guy is my enemy. Like, he's after me. He just doesn't want to do anything that satisfies me or whatever. And the truth is that no, we are on a team. And so part of what we learn and what we teach at the Weekend to Remember is that we're on the same team. And we can, if we can focus on that fact, then our marriages will be a lot better.
Yeah, I think it's important for all couples to find a way to invest into their relationship. Marriage is the most, I believe, the most important institution on the planet, right? And our marriage is the most important relationship we have on this side of heaven, and so we've got to find ways to learn each other, to understand each other, to make marriage work. And it takes a lot of work, but it's always worth the work, no matter how much work it takes. That was a long word salad, so I apologize.
Well, that's good. That's good.
But Disney kind of did okie doke us, I call it, right? The fairy tales that end with happily ever after. Well, that's a myth. There is no such thing as happily ever after, close the book, end the story, because that implies no heartache, no regret, no pain, no conflict. And there's no marriage that experiences that for the rest of their existence. And so if we really want people to realize, you don't have to wing it in your marriage. Find a way, find a place, books, radio programs, whatever it takes, and just spend some time learning how to be married according to the book. We have a great guide in the Bible, and there's lots of content, lots of great authors that have written lots of great content that can help us thrive in our marriages and not just survive.
Awesome. Good word. Kim and Corwin Anthony, thank you so much for being here today to talk about Weekend to Remember. Time flies when we're having fun. Do you have those dates in front of you, or do you want me to say the dates again? Folks can see you you got them?
Yes.
Me too. Okay, I'll let you say.
All right. The Weekend to Remember coming up in Cincinnati will take place on February 21st through the 23rd. That'll be downtown at the Hyatt. And the next one will be in Columbus on March 7th through the 9th. And then the next one in our area is March 14th through the 16th in Indianapolis. So you can go to the weekendtoremember or familylife.com website and learn how you can register and be a part of it. Weekendtoremember.com can get you there as well.
And also, I want to give you a special offer that we're giving for those who are listening to this right now. If you enter Getaway, all caps, Getaway, you can save $100 off the regular price for couples registration. And again, you can find that at weekendtoremember.com. And we'd love to have you in Cincinnati or Indianapolis. We'd love to meet you.
Sure would.
And I hear you're not going to be in Columbus because it's your anniversary. So happy anniversary. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kim and Corwin Anthony, it's my honor to be with you today. And thank you so much for sharing. And we encourage folks to get out there and enjoy Weekend to Remember. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Bye-bye.